Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, Dr. Yukon Suckit. Not just Yukon Suckit, but Doctor, because I didn't go to 12 years of Magic the Gathering school to be called Mr. Yukon Suckit. Anyways, I am broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you another deck I found on Magic GG's Platinum Mythic deck lists. I thought, ooh, this looks kind of interesting. It's a lot of the cards we've seen before, but, being that it's a JUND deck, it's like putting together all those cards together in one big pot, stirring them up, and making them dance for you, right? So looking at this, I'm trying to figure out what is it supposed to do. It didn't have a name. It didn't have a label. I'm calling it JUND midrange for now, just because it looks like you're sort of like ramping up until you get to some big creatures, and then the big creatures are going to fight. Will it stand up against board wipes? I don't know. We'll take it out. We'll see how it fights. We'll see if it's any good. Let's start at the low range. We got Shambling Ghast. This is black ramp right here because you put out your creature. At some point it dies. If you don't want to use it to take something out that might cost 1 or 2 as far as the toughness of it, then you use it just to generate a treasure. We got Voltage Surge, which costs you only 1 red to use, and it can do either 2 or 4 points of damage, depending upon whether or not you're willing to sacrifice an artifact. In this case, it would be a treasure. And so it's a nice utility card, depending upon what your needs are. We got Deadly Dispute. This is part of black ramp as well. Usually you're sacrificing Shambling Ghast. You do have the ability to sacrifice an artifact, like a treasure token generated by Shambling Ghast, right? At which point you're going to create another treasure token, but you're also going to draw 2 cards. So it helps you get your cards out of your library and into your hand. Infernal Grasp, one of my favorite cards. Look at that artwork. Look at that. Anyways, so what is this? This is 2 mana to destroy a target creature. You lose 2 life. I mean, I wish it could also take out planeswalkers, but the best thing in my mind about this card is it's an instant, meaning it'll help you take out man lands. Suck it, man lands. We got Tenacious Underdog, and this guy is the darling beauty of almost every black deck right now because you got a 3/2 for 2. You can blitz him, costing you 4, and then you just have to pay 2 life. At which point he comes out, and at the end of the turn, he dies, and you draw a card. But if you just pay regular, get him out there, then he sits out there. He can do whatever he needs to do. But the good part is that you can pay the blitz price to get him out of the graveyard. So he's recurring a lot like those skeletons are. So this guy is eminently useful. You just keep paying for him, provided that you don't mind the loss of life. We got Magda, the Brazen Outlaw, and she's a 2/1 for 2. It says other dwarves get +1/+0. She's the only dwarf in this deck, and it looks like she's a single as well. So that's not going to matter at all. But whenever she becomes tapped, she creates a treasure token. Sacrifice 5 treasure tokens, at which point you can search your library for an artifact or a dragon. Let's see, I know what the dragon is. It's Goldspan. Do we have any artifacts in here? Doesn't look like it. Meathook is not an artifact. Yep. So that's it. If you sacrifice 5 treasures, you can go looking for Goldspan Dragon there, right? Anyway, so this helps you get out more treasures. And as we've seen, we have a lot of use for treasure tokens. We got Kalain, the Reclusive Painter, who, when it comes into play, generates a treasure token. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with additional +1 counter on it for each mana from a treasure spent to cast them. Well, we're going to be generating a lot of treasure tokens, so there's a lot of opportunity to get those +1/+1 counters. We got the Meathook Massacre, which we'll use in a pinch to wipe the board. Even if you don't want to wipe the board, putting it out is pretty awesome because if your creatures die, your opponent loses a life, and if an opponent's creature dies, you gain a life. That's some good stuff. You may want to think about playing this thing for 0. Unless it's not going to cost you too much as far as your creatures by putting it out. We got Skull Merchant, a.k.a. the Dwarven Big Bad. Oh, we do have another dwarf. That's cool. So, yeah. So, Magda there will help this guy get a +1/+0, making him into a 2/4, which actually ain't too bad. When he comes into play, he creates a treasure token. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint. At which point you can also pay to sacrifice another creature or a treasure to draw a card. So this deck, between the red and the black so far, we're going to be creating a truckload of treasure tokens, and we have the ability to sacrifice those to a lot of things to draw a card, which will help us find the things that we really want, which are right up here at the top end of the spectrum. We got Soul Shatter, just one of them, which you could pay. Opponent sacrifices a creature or mana with the highest creature or planeswalker with the highest mana value amongst creatures or planeswalkers they control. So whatever they got that's the biggest, suck it. It's dead. And it's an instant. Thing is that pretty much means it's not going to take out a man land unless they got nothing else going on out there, because man lands have 0 as far as mana value. We got Fable of the Mirror Breaker, which gives you a 2/2 Goblin Shaman that whenever it attacks, much like Magda, Brazen, Outlaw, you get a treasure token. Nudge, nudge, hint, hint, you're getting treasure tokens. After that, you can discard up to 2 cards, and if you do, you may draw that many cards. So here's a place where you get to go through your library again, potentially, especially if things in your hand aren't really what you need at the moment. And lastly, you'll end up getting a Reflection of Kiki Jiki, who for 1 mana you can tap to create a token that's a copy of another non-legendary creature you control. Non-legendary is going to be either Titan of Industry or Goldspan Dragon, and other stuff here at the low end for the most part. But really, it's going to be one of those two, right? At which point then, yeah, if I could double up on Titan of Industry, that'd be fantastic. Because when Titan, we'll get to Titan Industry later. Forgive me for jumping ahead. Ob Nixilis. So this guy is a planeswalker. When he comes into play, you pay 3. You have the ability to kill something. And then you, whatever its, I guess, mana value is. What does it say? Power of X. You sacrifice something, whatever its power was, that's what your copy of Ob Nixilis will have for its loyalty. But then you pretty much want to do the +1 on both of them anyway. So what you want to do, if you can either double up on the +1 ability, which causes them to either take 2 life or discard a card, which is fantastic, really. Or you can use one of them to generate a devil, at which point when you use the other one, you'll be able to do that lose 2 life, discard a card type of thing. But at least you also gain life out of the deal as well. So see what you can do. It's always nice to make 2 Ob Nixilises if you can help it. We got Halana and Alena, which do a great job of sharing their power with your other creatures. They have First Strike and Reach, which makes them really dangerous as blockers. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, put X +1/+1 counters on other target creatures you control, where X is Halana and Alena's power. They start up at 2. That creature gains haste until the end of turn, so that's fantastic, right? Now, if you can manage to pay for Halana and Alena using treasure tokens while you have your Reclusive Painter out, then they'll get a ton of +1 counters, which then they'll start putting on other things when those things are ready to attack. So, which could be the Reclusive Painter, right? So, yeah, that'd be space awesome. We've got 1 Invoke Despair. I'm surprised by that because Invoke Despair is space awesome. We don't really have anything else going on. It just seems to be a one-off sort of thing. If you could do it, do it. And it's a great card for really messing up your opponent's game. Either they have to lose 2 life. That way they don't really have a choice of what they can do. They have to kill a creature, enchantment, and planeswalker. And for each one of those that they don't have the ability to sacrifice, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. So it's all good all across the board for Invoke Despair. I've seen lots of decks that's nothing but 4 Invoke Despairs, finding them and replaying from the graveyard multiple times. So, man, it'd be good to play that again. I'd like to try to find those. I know they're out there. I get hammered by them occasionally. We got 2 Goldspan Dragons, which tend to be decks all by themselves. As soon as you get them out, they got Flying Haste to the 4/4. And then whenever they attack or become the target of a spell, you create a treasure token. Plus, they make treasure tokens twice as effective as they normally are. Vorinclex, the Monstrous Raider, when he is out and about, anytime that you would generate a counter of some sort, you create double that amount. And in this deck, that means so many treasure tokens you'd be generating. Otherwise, he's got Trample and Haste. He's a 6/6, so God help you. If you could pay for him with counters, with treasure tokens, and you happen to have the Reclusive Painter out, he would be just ginormously pumped, which would be fantastic. So between all the treasure tokens you're creating, and if you can keep that Reclusive Painter on board, and you can get Vorinclex out, it's just a counter show at that point. We got Zyator the Incinerator. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, it deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target, and you create 3 treasure tokens. So this is a fling. So just at the end of your turn, you can pick any of your creatures and fling them at anything. Players, planeswalkers, creatures, it doesn't matter. And you create a bunch of treasure tokens. And plus, it's a flying 6/6 on top of that. So fantastic. We have the Titan of Industry. So that costs you 7 to put out. But with so many treasure tokens, something tells me you'll be able to pay for them, right? When it comes into play, you get to pick 2 of its abilities, which is why copying it with Kiki Jiki is such a good idea. Because it comes into play, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment. You can target player gains 5 life. I recommend you target yourself. Create a 4/4 green rhino warrior token. So it means you get to create another creature. And you get to put a shield counter on a creature you control. So your choice. You need 2 of those. And it's a 7/7 with reach and trample. Hopefully you'll be able to use treasure tokens and have the Reclusive Painter in play at the time to pay for it, so they can be even stronger than it is right now. I'd use that shield token on it itself if you can help it, just to keep it alive. It won't help it against exiles, but it will keep it safe against destroys. Let's see, when it comes to lands, we've got 2 of these black ones that just allow you to mill and bring back planeswalkers or creatures into your hand. We've got we've got the Kamigawa land that allows you to create. I don't know why we're using this. I really dislike this card personally. And it creates 2 1/1 spirit tokens. Great. This Disenchant here I find very useful though. And what else we got? World Tree, which allows you to have, as long as you got 6 or more lands, then all of your lands can produce 1 mana of any color. And then other than that, you can sacrifice stuff to look for gods, but we don't have any gods in here as far as I know. Yeah, so that's useful. Oh, that's another dragon. That's what that is. So therefore, Magda can help you find Zyator if you really wanted it. We got a treasure vault, which creates X treasure tokens. So if we can keep Vorinclex in play, this thing is going to create a truckload of treasure tokens for you. And then there's a bunch of other lands. Just a lot of different lands otherwise. It's just mana, 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 mana. Treasure, treasure, treasure. So yeah, maybe this thing should be called JUND Treasures or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, that's the deck. Let's take it out and see how well it does. And we're playing against Morgas. Morgas. All right. We got 2 mana. A little on the sly side there. We might be able to make this work. Let's keep it, see what we can do. All right, there's a 3rd mana. That's nice. 1. All right, that could be a green for us if we need it. Go with the black. We got black or red. All right, so let's play black since I can use it now. Okay, here we go. Get a treasure token out of the deal. A little bit of ramp. Next. Playing mono green more than likely. That's what the Sculptor of Winter tends to look like. Means we're probably going to see some Blizzard Brawls there. Yep. Let's see. We don't have anything to take out the enchantment, I believe. All right. Well, here's 3 mana. We'll put the green out. There's going to be a lot to take out eventually. Let's just... boy, that... I'd love to be able to kill it, but I have to sacrifice a artifact to do it. And I'm going to have to slow things down to be on our way. Yeah, let's just do it. Yoink. Take out that artifact. And we got 2. And I'm going to keep that Infernal Grasp for a little bit. We're going for the attack. Take first blood. All right, we got a lot of Kiki Jikis. Hopefully they'll be able to get our way up into the Vorinclex area there. Problem is, we keep playing no. There's another one. I guess we probably just have to take that one out early. Let's take it. I these things can just get too big. I know we're going to be looking at an Umbenbald here pretty soon. Take out that Ascendant Pack Leader while we got the opportunity. We're willing to pass that up. We just need 2 more mana to be able to get Vorinclex out. Hopefully we'll have a Kiki Jiki. Let's submit those 2, see what we can get back. Interesting. Ooh, I could have used that to take out the Eskus Chariot, but I don't care. Okay, we got our 6. That's our next turn. All right, how are we going to do here? My guess is that if I were to attack with Vorinclex, he'd just chew it up. Let's kill Pack Leader here. Let's block. I don't care. This guy right there. There we go. 2 blockers. And we'll Deadly Dispute on Fair Lady there. Discard the 2 cards. Yeah, let's see what we can get out of this. That barely helped anyways whatsoever. All right, so we can go Goldspan or Vorinclex at this point. Vorinclex just going to do damage. Or I can keep him back and make him be a blocker. I need the black mana. I get him down to 16 pretty easily. No attacks. Let's see if we can do a little defense here. He's just going to try to keep the beatdown going. Ah, we're down to 3. I mean, he's got a really good point. All right, Titan of Industry. We're going to give ourselves some life. There we go. Winner, winner, victory dinner. All right, playing against JLCooper. JL. How you doing, my man? All right, let's see. We've got 3 mana, looking good. Bunch of low-end stuff. Keep it, see if we can't grow. Looks like we want to start off with red, then throw down a black. Okay, mono red goblins. Should I bother? Yep. Number 2 gets us a Reclusive Painter. And a treasure. Skullport merchants with their big butts ought to help out for a little bit. That's going to get a +1 counter, I believe. There we go. That's all good. Yeah, no attacks. Let's just chill out for a second here. All right, we'll pay out our green. Skullport merchants, pay with treasure. And at the moment, I am good with no attacks. I think to progress our game, see, I can always just do this. Yeah, we're going to have to just go for it. Here we go. Sorry, lady. You were my future, but not anymore. There we go. That's nice. Okay. Yoink. Hello, little one-ones. I'd like to introduce you to my big butt dwarves. I don't... Get 2 cards, man. Alright, you're going to love this one. Do we have a red right here? Yeah, I do. Alright, we're good. We're going to black up on this. Goldspan Dragon. Going in for an attack. This is not a good place to be goblins. Oh, cancel, sorry. Past the blockers. 1, 2. We'll take out that guy. He's pumping people. My turn. Another black, and I think we're going to go ahead and put out a couple spirits. Next to combat, send in the dragon. All right, we've got some good defenders. We got a couple of speed bumps. I think we're in a good way. Nope, that's kind of sucks. And we win anyway. I was going to sacrifice the dragon, but you do what you got to do. All right, let's see. You're playing against 3 Bean Chili. Well, that's quite a name. Or is it 3 Beach Illy? We got plenty of red this time, just no black. Everything we need to do at the early stage is black. I'm going to mulligan. Red and black. Let's keep it. Got 2 mana. That's all we got out there. I'm going to get rid of Ob Nixilis. I feel like the other cards are a little bit more utility. Yeah, I'm going to get 7 mana. That's going to happen to me. We got here red and okay, let's go out and do that. Let's see, we can see if the other person's playing. Probably JUND as well. Let's go for another red. We'll Kiki Jiki it. I got a dude. I got a dude. I got a dude. Hey, 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 hey. I'm going to toss these 2. I think they're just too much for us to get to in this situation. All right. Let's Tenacious Underdog. And attack. It's going to get us up to 4. So if I could have put the Reclusive Painter out, then we would have been in a situation where I could have played the Goldspan Dragon. I'll do it this time though. Okay, now we got the 5 mana is what we'll have. Let's go in for an attack. There's 6 mana. We're good. Okay, God, I think we have enough that we can actually do basically a Goldspan. Oh, that is not right. All right, we're going to have to Deadly Dispute some stuff. 2 mana. What are we going to take out here? Doesn't really matter. They're all gone, right? And, yeah, I need the rest of it. Oh, no, I have a mana right there. It comes into play tap. You freaked out a little bit too early, my friend. All right, let's green up. Let's put out the Goldspan Dragon. And we could do a Tenacious Underdog at this point. All right, we'll end it right here. I can say I could pay for the Goldspan Dragon, but the problem is... are we going to be able to make our way through that? I can always... No matter what, it'll be stronger than our... Yeah, it's not good. All right, so I definitely have enough to wipe the board. Let's just do that then. I need to pay for 6. And a gain a life. I'm thinking on our next turn we might be able to get Tenacious Underdog and Goldspan out. We got to fight through that guy though. Is he a 3? He's a 4 now. That's more than I can handle. Let's take out Rin Stimpy. Auto pay. That's getting interesting. The hell's that? Oh, he had it underneath his rigging. That's how. Okay. Yeah, I think we're toast. Yeah, I don't think we can go up against two of them. We got additional mana, which will put us up to 2. I only got 3. What does this act as? I can actually pay for this? Let's do it. There we go. Next, no attacks. No, cool. There's nothing I could do that'd be awesome at this point. Oh no, that's not good at all. All right, so that's everything else is just superfluous. Let's just go ahead and pound it all out there because we can. And I think we're dead meat. Skin of their teeth. All right, we got Luhkiss. It's spelled in the worst possible way whatsoever. We got a nice selection of lands, some easy creatures, Titan of Industry. One. Let's mirror match him. How's that sound? All right, we're getting a lot of good mana at the beginning here. That's nice. He created his treasure. Let's just eliminate his guy. Well, he's in a much better position than us. All right, let's green up on this one. And we've got 3 mana. What's this really going to do for us? That's just a mana girl. Sure. It's going to put out something awesome, and we need to kill it, so let's save that. But another Magda. Magda back out. Thought I put a land out already. Let's see. No, I can't do that. How am I doing that? I just don't understand how that happened. I only had 1 mana. How am I able to cause that to occur? And there's another. Whatever, no blocks. Have a good time. Let's see. Slow, slow, slow. We'll go Helen on Lana. Which will pump up our Magda. Giving them the ability to give us a treasure without worrying about being killed. There we go. 17 to 16. Yeah, they're goldfish. Trying to ramp up to something. Do it again. And wait a second here. So if I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then number 7 next turn, I can actually put out the Titan of Industry. Let's do it the hard way. So this will give us enough to put down the Titan of Industry on our next turn, I believe. As long as she doesn't get countered. Okay, whatever, they're just going to be drawing some cards. That is a counterspell. Gotta watch out for that. He's got plenty for it. Next. Going in, Magda. So we got 8 mana available to us. And I don't like that counterspell up there, though. He's got even more treasure tokens. Past the blockers. Bad boys, what you going to do? What you going to do when we come for you? How are our fish get on the same level again? That is not right. His ability to make his Storm Giant come about. It shouldn't be a hard decision, Luhkiss. I'm kind of hoping that if I go to play the Infernal Grasp, he'll try to counter it, and that'll get that out of the way. I mean, I can't do anything that's going to happen. And we win! Apparently we're just way too impressive, a species of a deck for him. All right, so here is JUND mid-range from the Platinum Mythic list off of Magic GG. And, you know, it did very well. It did very well. You know, at this point in the meta, when we're, you know, the last set has become around for at least a month or so, things are starting to get kind of settled. I consider this deck to be kind of a cliche deck. It's like where you take all of the good cards from a particular color and you just sort of jam them all together, and they do very well together. And the interesting thing in this cliche is that it's 3 colors rather than 2, because in 2 colors you could just have cards that do well. When you start having 3, you need cards that integrate well with each other and a little bit of synergy or whatever. And I think it all spurns from this Zaitora the Incinerator, just because it's, you know, JUND colors. You got black, red, and green. And so, yeah, you know, they said, well, let's start with that. What can we do that's black, red, and green that's really good? And you got them all here. Like in the black case, Shambling Ghast, Deadly Dispute, Skullport Merchant, and Infernal Grasp. Now, here's Tenacious Underdog. He's not cliche, but he kind of is getting that way. Like every black deck has Tenacious Underdog, or at least it's starting to get that way. But so just because he just came out. So it's hard to call him that, but you see it. You got a 3/2 for 2, and you can cast it from your graveyard. Why not? You're going to see this in every single black deck from here to until it gets rotated out, right? We got the Meathook Massacre. I mean, it's just everything good with black. What's in red? You got Magda, who's bringing you tokens. You've got Kalain, the recursive painter, bringing you tokens. You got Token, you know, Goldspan Dragon creator. You got the Fable of the Mirror Breaker, Kiki Jiki. You know, the only thing that's new that you're starting to see everywhere right now is Voltage Surge, just because it works so good with token generation, with treasure generation specifically, because you need those artifacts, right? So this is starting to make rounds as being the new cliche anytime you got a lot of treasures being generated. What's also interesting, you got red and green. Who are you going to put together in there? Obviously, Halana and Alena, because they, you know, it's just so good. You just put her out there. If you have the ability to pump them up, then they're going to start pumping everybody else up by that amount. Things just grow like crazy. In the green side, we got Titan of Industry, because why not? If you're able to make the tokens, then Titan of Industry is going to be your best friend. Vorinclex, you can create double the amount of tokens if you could just get him out, even if you're not attacking with him. Well, I just noticed that little baby or man in his claw. That is grisly. So, yeah, this is a cliche deck. As such, I find it to be incredibly, incredibly boring. The reason why I grabbed it today was because I had never seen Zaitora in action before, and I was looking forward to seeing how that was going to work out. And that didn't really happen. It didn't really happen. So, but, you know, did the deck do what it was supposed to do? Yes. I mean, you get out some early stuff. Those are all sacrificial. Deadly Dispute, you just use it to ramp yourself up. You get out lots of treasures, at which point you're playing Goldspan and you're just flying like crazy. If you can manage to get a Kiki Jiki out that doesn't get killed, you can start copying them. Vorinclex, Zaitora, Titan of Industry, those are all, you know, your big guns. That's what your mid-range Wet Dream is all about, is trying to get these guys out and double them up using Kiki Jiki if you can help it. So hopefully between all of the treasure generation you're doing earlier on, and all of the, with Infernal Grasp and Meathook Massacre and Voltage Surge to help keep your opponent's threats in check. You know, and then here's Ob Nixilis, the only really kind of weird card in here, in my opinion. Just because, what does Ob Nixilis do? It generates some treasure, or some devil tokens, and does a little discard action. It's kind of like Ob Nixilis is a lot like the Lantern, Tigra's Lantern or whatever, which they have to either discard, kill something, or take life. In this case, what do they have to do? They have to lose 2 life unless they discard a card, you know. And then if you happen to have a devil out, then a devil or demon, then you gain 2 life. So Ob Nixilis is a cool card. I think Ob Nixilis is great in discard. But all by itself, it's just sort of a one-off sort of thing. I didn't think Ob Nixilis was really all that worth it. You only got one of them in here, so whatever. Whatever. In fact, I'd probably, you know, just drop Ob Nixilis. He's not really doing a whole lot for you in this deck. You know, I might even beef up on Goldspan or something. Just because, I mean, if this thing was producing treasure tokens, then why not? The only thing that Ob Nixilis is really good at doing is being, in this deck, is being a target. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt if you're going up against, you know, for somebody else to have to go up to Ob Nixilis because they're taking damage if they don't feel like discarding what's in their hand. And so therefore you're either tenderizing them for your end of game, or, you know, you're helping to pin down their opportunities that their hand provides. So was this deck competitive? Yes, it was absolutely competitive. You know, was it fun? I mean, it fights. I guess if it wasn't for the fact that I feel like I've seen these cards a billion times, just not in this particular configuration, I might really like the deck. It just, I'm getting kind of bored, right? Lastly, is there a theme? No, I don't believe so. I mean, sure, there's a lot of treasure generation, but to me, that's not much of a theme. It doesn't really, I mean, it's just like, it's just there as a utility to get to the big guys, and these guys don't really have anything to do with each other. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of, just get your treasure tokens out, keep pinning things down. I mean, it's a well put together deck. So I gotta, just because I'm so bored by it, I want to give it some negatives. I want it to be like a B class deck. But I'm going to tell you, no, it's definitely a solid A. I mean, if you want to play with something that's going to win and it's going to have some fun fights in it, this deck is definitely going to go for it. I bet you that, you know, you probably will like this deck quite a bit. It's just a personal thing on my part. That's all. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this deck more than I did. In the words of the Daily Dose of Internet, that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Later.